Good evening, students. I'm a little late because there is little restriction of movement inside the college. I had to go all the way around and I wasted about 15 minutes. That's okay. Let's go with the topic today. We're going to talk about the surgical anatomy of the liver and its requirement for various liver resections up to the sectionectomy, individual segmentectomy, everything. A good knowledge of the anatomy of the liver is prerequisite for modern surgery of the liver. We are going to talk on the following headings: the historical aspect, the embryology, the gross anatomy, functional and segmental anatomy, cross-sectional anatomy, hepatic vasculature and biliary system, and hepatic resections. Historical aspect. First, the Glisson work. We have found out the Glisson's capsule is nothing but the visceral peritoneum, which is covering the liver adherent very closely, and it is sending its contribution to along the biliary component, which includes the artery, portal vein, and other things inside. So wherever you go, the Glissonian capsule follows inside, so that you can get everything in one bundle. Next, the physiologists, as physiology turned anatomists, were found out the perisynodal space of dizzy, where the exchange of metabolites takes place. We are the one which found out the Cantley's line, which has changed the anatomy of left and right lobe. Pringle is the one who has taught us how to control the bleed from the ongoing supply into the liver by simply pressing in the free body of the lesser omentum, where both hepatic artery and the portal vein are there. Coignard subsequently divided the liver into 8 segments with an individual arterial supply, with an individual portal venous supply, with an individual biliary duct, and an individual venous drainage. And subsequently, Goldsmith has made out subsegment nomenclature. Thomas Torsel, who's still alive, is alive now? Yes, still alive, the first to do a successful liver transplant in a man. It is an orthotopic liver transplant by removing the liver from the patient and putting the regular liver. Embryology. On day 22, there is the appearance of primordium of the liver. 5th week, the liver buttstock is formed. Then subsequently, the biliary apparatus forms. Then hepatic sinusoid forms from the epithelial cells. At 9th week, there is a rapid growth and the primary hepatopoietic system for the what is that? Infant girl, neonate girl. What is that? For the hematopoietic function starts for the gestational for the baby inside. The ventral mesentery is has got lesser omentum and falciform ligament. Formation of the liver. This is the falciform ligament. This is the triangular ligament. This is through which this forms the diaphragm, through which the esophagus comes. This is the whole liver. And slowly the bile duct starts appearing. This is the gallbladder. And this is the right vitral vein. Future, it becomes the portal vein. These are the transverse ligaments, everything. So that is the gross embryological anatomy of the development of the liver. Physical characteristics is the largest solid organ in the body. It weighs about 150 grams. Adult male is about, birth it's about 150 grams. As you grow, it varies between 1.5 to 1.8 in a male. It's about 1 to 1.5 in a female. It's a wedge-shaped organ. And sometimes you've got a projection from the free lobe called the radial lobe. The anterior-posterior diameter is 10 to 12.5 centimeter. Transverse diameter is between 20 to 23 centimeter. Liver has got 2 main lobes, which is only anatomical. They are not functional. The functional goes from the gallbladder fossa to the IVC. That is called Cantley's line, which divides the functional lobes with individual right and left duct. This is anatomical. Your right and left, this is no more being used for surgical purposes. The fusion of the falciform ligament, the inferior extent, becomes the ligament of Treece. Ligament of Treece is otherwise of the long ligament, which contains the left umbilical vein. Sometimes it may be patent. In intrauterine life, the left umbilical vein drains to the left portal vein. That is how the circulation goes out. As the child is being born, that left umbilical vein sometimes become completely fibrosed, but it takes some more time. That is why you could take the umbilical cord vein. Quadrate lobe is the portion of the right lobe anterior to the fissure called the quadrate lobe. So if you carefully see, this is the transverse fissure. There is nothing but the porta hepatis. This is the gallbladder. This is the umbilical. This is the umbilical fissure. This is the transverse fissure. This is called the quadrate lobe of the liver, otherwise known as segment 4. And just posterior to it, hugging the IVC, you've got a caudate lobe, and sometimes it goes in front of the, in front or posterior to the IVC. That is called the caudate process. And this is called the barrier of the liver. These are the attachments on the left side in the form of left triangular ligament. So this is the caudate lobe, this is the quadrate lobe. Caudate lobe is numbered as 1, this is 4, this is 2, 3 and 2, and subsequently we'll see what is happening here. This is usually segment 5, that comes to be segment 8, that is 6 and 7. That is how it is. So for your convenience, we have drawn a diagram. Anterior to caudate lobe, fossa for the IVC, fossa for the gallbladder. The whole thing goes to the left lobe of the liver. This is segment 1. And this is ligamentum venosum, drains to the left portal vein. This is the porta hepatis, that is the round ligament of the liver. Let's see. 29. Now we are seeing the diaphragmatic, the retro, that is, this is the upper portion of the liver, that is nothing but the diaphragmatic, which is attached to, see, it should be vice like that. It is attached to the diaphragm in the form of left triangular ligament, superior inferior coronary ligament, right triangle ligament. This is not covered by any peritoneum. That's called the barrier of the liver. That is the IVC. These are the openings of the left and right hepatic vein, and that becomes the IVC. This again becomes the IVC. Coming down to the right of it, this is the caudate lobe. That may be the caudate lobe. Okay, that is how it is. This again, see, the whole thing is reversed. Peritoneal relationship, the same thing. You can just see the barrier of the liver. This is the left lobe of the liver. This is the right triangular ligament. That is the right triangular ligament. This is the gallbladder. This is the porta hepatis. This is the retrohepatic IVC, into which the hepatic veins drain. This again, after removal of the liver, this is how the diaphragm is being seen. Right triangular ligament, superior inferior coronary ligament. The left triangular ligament, anterior, superior, inferior, this thing, this is the stomach, gastrohepatic omentum. This is linorenal ligament, this is the great omentum. That is how it is. Now, we should know there are plates which are containing fibrous tissue, which are avascular in nature, usually helpful in the hilar area, to bring down, to see what is happening here. You will have to bring down the hilar plate, then you will be getting these individual things, which will be very useful in cases where you want to do a hepatectomy. There is a continuation of this. On the right side is the cystic plate where the gallbladder fossa is there, and on the left side is the umbilical plate. This plate is very important surgically. To bring down the hilar plate, we do not have any biliary or vascular communication with the rest of the liver. You can bring it nicely, and you can see the whole thing. If you peel away this, you will get the individual things. You can easily see. This is the hepatic artery. This is the bile duct. and that is the portal vein. This is what always the relationship is. Functional and segmental anatomy. Basis of the hepatic segmentation. This is left lateral segment. This is medial segment. The whole thing is called 2, 3, 4. This forms the left lobe of the liver. A little lateral to the segment 4 is further divided into 4A and 4B by subsequent surgeons. And to the left of it is the falciform ligament, which will guide you if you properly trace it. The left umbilical vein, usually it is fibrous, it goes and joins the left portal vein. That is one of the ways to identify the left portal vein. And superior posterior is the third segment of the bile duct. In case you want to do a third segment bypass, this is another approach, ligament cum teres approach. This is the gallbladder, this is the median fissure, this is the lateral fissure, which divides into right lobe into segment 8 and segment 5. This is segment 6 and segment 7, otherwise known as anteromedial and posterolateral things, which are divided again into 2. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5 and 8 are anteromedial. 6 and 7 are posterolateral. The caudate lobe is otherwise known as the sphigeal lobe. Bismuth is called the third liver, divided into caudate lobe and caudate process. This is the caudate lobe, this is caudate process, and that is the left portal vein. This is the IVC, this is the middle hepatic vein. This segment 4 just anterior to it, superior to it, this is segment 2 and 3. And once go like this, you get the right lobe of the liver. So it's beautifully given here. 2 and 3, 4, 1, 5. 6 is not 5 and 6. 7 is not shown here. This is 8. Then if they go a little above, you'll get 7. That is what it is. And that is the portal bifurcation. That is the bifurcation of the duct. This is the entry of the hepatic veins into the IVC. Caudate lobe, biliary drainage is usually into both right and left ductal system. The arterial supply is usually both from the right and left hepatic branches. Segment 1, as per Coinoid's nomenclature, position varies with respect to the portal bifurcation. So either it may predominantly from the left lobe or from the right lobe or from both. That is caudate lobe. Caudate lobe per se, the anatomy may be a short notes question for you, especially for the postgraduate of MCH. And also caudate lobectomy, which they should know. Nomenclature, Coinoid and Bismuth. Bismuth is only made 4 into 4A and 4B. He could understand 4A and 4B has got individual components of bile duct drainage, hepatic artery supply, and portal venous supply. And of course, the hepatic venous drainage is there. The 4A1 has got a straight branch. Then again, it recurves. That's called recurvating branch, which gives to 4B. This is segment 5, that is nothing but right anterior inferior, in which the gallbladder fossa is there. Next comes the anterior superior, it is near the IVC. Then the posterior inferior is 6, that is the free body of the liver. Just above that is 7. So this is what everybody has universally agreed. If you carefully collect back your memory regarding the calcium of the gallbladder, we will have to remove 5, 4, 5 and 4B. Correct?
Yes.
4B. 4B and 5 both are removed because they are adjacent to each other. This you beautifully see here 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is anteromedial, this is posterolateral, this is segment 4, this is caudate lobe, this is segment 2 and 3. The whole thing forms the left lobe, the whole thing forms the right lobe. Okay, that is how it is. And this is 4A and 4B. 4B and 5 has to be removed. The branches comes like a recurvating branch after issuing the 4A. It comes the recurvating branch and supplies here. So this is the latest addition by Bismuth into 4A and 4B. Use 3 vertical fissure and a single transverse fissure. Divide the liver into 7 segments. Caudate lobe was counted separately. This is how it is. It's beautifully made 3 fissures. A right fissure, a main fissure, and a left fissure. That divides it the liver into 4 parts. We have made this as anteromedial, that is 5 and 8. This is posterolateral, 6 and 7, 4, then 3, the lateralmost it's 2. So this is how the whole thing, this method, schematic representation. And the veins, each fissure has got each vein. One is the right fissure, which has got a right vein, which drains both 7 and 8 and 6, 5 and 6. Whereas this is the middle hepatic vein, which drains 5, 8 and 4. Whereas this is left hepatic vein, which drains segment 3 and 2. So this is how it is. More than 60% of the cases, both will unite and join. The IVC is a common channel, but sometimes you will get a separate one. Occasionally, you will get accessory hepatic veins, which is very much important. In case of you're doing a liver transplant, especially a live donor transplant, all the accessory hepatic veins must be preserved and individually anastomosed to the IVC so that there is no venous ischemia to that portion of the liver which is being transplanted. And also, you should not ligate any of the veins which is draining the remaining portion, that is the leftover portion, the leftover liver remnant, so that the venous drainage is preserved and the functional capacity of the liver is maintained. The person do not go for a post-operative liver failure. So both for the donor and for the recipient, the hepatic vein drainage is very important. You must see to that it gives a sufficient amount of drainage system. The drainage system is best measured by doing a portal venous pressure. That will tell you whether the veins are draining properly. Anywhere between 15 to 18 to start with is agreeable following a transplant. Okay. This is Brisbane 2000 terminology of liver anatomy. The same thing, nothing much in that. Sections, they made it as left lateral, left medial, right anterior, and right posterior. Whatever is said is exactly the same. The name is little different. Right anterior is called right paramedian, right posterior is called the right lateral, left medial is called the left paramedian, and left lateral is called the left superior, left posterior, but everything points to the same. Fissure and scissurae. There is one fissure called the lateral fissure or the right fissure, which is about 40-degree angle from the porta hepatis. The other one is 75 degrees. That's called the middle fissure. Otherwise known as oblique. It is 75 imaginary line. This oblique fissure, this middle fissure goes through the fossa of the gallbladder and IVC. That divides the right lobe into the whole liver into right and left lobe. This fissure divides the right lobe into right anteromedial and right posterolateral. That's all. Left fissure divides the liver into segment 4 and 3 and 2. 3 and 2 is joined together. That is known as the left lateral segment, whereas this is the segment 4 quadrate lobe. You can see the drainage is on either side. This is probably, to my knowledge, is an accessory hepatic vein, which is joining into the left lateral vein, left hepatic vein, and draining it. This is what should be preserved when you're taking this, because this will drain by this. If you're taking segment 3 and 2 only, this should be preserved with this, or you must make an opening here so that it is anastomosed to the IVC in the recipient liver. That is most important. Cross-sectional imaging. This is, you are trying to tell you about the intrahepatic anatomy. Intrahepatic anatomy, you can go through this slide. Right posterior, right anterior, left medial, left lateral. These are the branches of the right and middle hepatic vein, the tributaries. That is the IVC. This is the lesser omentum. You can see in the color various segments. I think she is trying to tell me No, red, where is red is not at all seen here. So different things. You go through it, whatever you understand is nothing but the color demarcation of the various segments. Nothing more than that. Okay. No, what I am trying to find out is where is this red? It is not here at all. Eh? Okay, understand yourself. I have told you enough about this anatomy. Okay. This is again the same thing. If you want, I'll explain. She is feeling bad. This is nothing but the schematic representation of this with the color coding. Probably this red, you forget about it. Same thing here. And again, she is trying to show the same thing as a color shaded thing. Forget about the red. Red is not there. Here also it is like that. Same thing. Nothing much about it. This is segment right posterior. Inferior, right posterior, superior. Correct? That is segment 6 and 7. Hepatic vasculature and the biliary system. It is a proper hepatic artery. The hepatic artery is a branch of the superior celiac artery. It gives the branch as it comes as a right gastric artery, a gastroduodenal artery. After that, it becomes a proper hepatic artery, which divides into right and left as in a normal way. This dips into the liver quickly. This has got a little long course. We can identify it easily. This always has got a medial and a little anterior relationship here to your bile duct. Bile duct will come here. You must always take care, especially in inflamed area, not to injure the right hepatic duct. Posterior to that will be the portal vein. So, right hepatic artery, posterior to the hepatic duct, cystic artery arises from it. Normally, it bifurcates into anterior posterior segmental arteries. Left hepatic artery is shorter than the right, bifurcates into lateral and medial segmental arteries. That's all. Variations. Sometimes the right hepatic artery can arise from the superior mesenteric artery and straight come. And no, that is not shown here. Next slide. This is proper hepatic artery, right, left medial, left lateral, 40%, 35%. Left medial is divided into two. Then again, see, it's about 25%. This left lateral branch divides into two, left medial branch divided into two. There's not much big problem because the trunks are same. But only thing is, here the left medial branch is arising from the right hepatic artery, whereas this is a normal one. So this one problem here is the left medial branch arises from the right hepatic artery. Okay, sometimes the right hepatic artery comes straight from the superior mesenteric artery. This is called the replaced right hepatic artery. If you do a Goepel's procedure, you can see it nicely going along the portal vein just below, and it will be prominent. If you place it, it will go to the superior mesenteric artery. The other one is sometimes the left hepatic artery is not there. It has been replaced by the what is accessory left hepatic artery, which arises from the left gastric artery, will become the predominant artery to supply the left lobe of the liver. This is called replaced left hepatic artery. Intrahepatic portal venous network. This is what it is. You can understand that the main portal vein is anteromedial, posterolateral, superior inferior, superior inferior. The left portal vein has got a long course. See, you can see a beautiful recurvating branch to the segment 4, especially segment 4B. And you can see there are two arteries, two veins coming to the segment 2 and 3. Beautiful schematic representation. And left portal vein, you can nicely see the same picture is like that. Right hepatic vein. Right hepatic vein comes in between lateral to the lateral fissure. It is about 40-degree fissure from here. On the lateral side, you get segment 5 and 6. On the medial side, you get 6 and 7 and 5 and 8. All are drained by the right hepatic vein. To a certain extent, they are also drained by the middle hepatic vein because middle hepatic vein is exactly in segment 4. So it is drains in segment 4, segment 5 and segment 8. So you must be always be careful when you are taking this. Take a piece of vein anastomos to the transfer recipient. Again, the left hepatic vein drains segment 4, segment 2 and 3. This is how the hepatic vein drainages. Middle hepatic vein lies in the median fissure. I have already told you about that. That is the accessory one. Left hepatic vein I have already told you. This is how, see, everybody should know about this. As you see the portal venous face of a CECT abdomen as you come down, you will beautifully see a nice filling like this tells you that liver is normal in texture, normal in its density, so that you get a beautiful left, middle and right hepatic vein and drains into the IVC. Here if you carefully see, there is an accessory hepatic vein. Are you able to see this? Beautiful picture, very rare to get it. That is very important. Surgical consideration, multiple accessory hepatic veins drains into the right hepatic vein must be carefully ligated, also must be preserved and anastomosed to the recipient if you are doing a liver transplant. Usually in liver transplant, live donor transplant, usually the right lobe is taken. The left lobe is left over, you must take it. Especially in children only, we take the lateralmost segments, segment 2 and 3, and do it in an emergency setup. Intrahepatic biliary system. One important thing you should know is there is no intercommunication of intrahepatic biliary system at all. You should not think by doing one PTBD somewhere I'll be draining the whole system. No, until and otherwise the confluence is intact. If the confluence is not intact, you are not draining. But if you drain 30% of the biliary system, then the itching, which is a troublesome thing for the patient, will go. Or you may drain the system where you want to go and do a subsequent surgery. That is also important. That I will tell you in this thing. What is that? Right biliary tree, this is what it is. Right branch divides into posterolateral and anteromedial, again 5 and 8. This is again 5, 6 and 7. And left. Left further divides into next. These are the anomalies on the rights. Sometimes you get a posterior inferior branch straightly arising from the common hepatic duct. There's a right and left hepatic duct. And this again, the anterior segment branch, says there is no division here. The anterior segmental duct, that is anteromedial, arises straight from the common hepatic artery, not with a common stem like this. These are the anomalies. Left biliary tree, common, medial and lateral segment, lateral inferior and lateral, medial and lateral, inferior, lateral superior, and medial segment. That is what it is divided in. Correct? Lymphatics, there are anterior phrenic nodes, middle phrenic nodes, paracardial group of left gastric node, celiac nodes, hepatic nodes. Deep is middle phrenic nodes and nodes at the porta hepatis. Usually the nodes are not very important as to the liver is concerned, except in gallbladder malignancy. You must know where are it will go and what are the nodes to be clear. Usually we don't do a nodal clearance in the case of hepatectomy for hepatocellular carcinoma. This is sympathetic from T7 to T7. Parasympathetic is hepatic division of the anterior and posterior vagal trunks. Hepatic resection, now we have understood about the gross anatomy, cross-sectional anatomy, and surgical anatomy of the liver. Now we will come and apply it, how it is going to be of help in liver transplant and hepatic resection, we will see. Right hemi liver, the segment 5 to 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's called right hepatectomy. Left hemi liver, segment 2, 3, 4, left hepatectomy, right anterior, 5 and 8, right anterior sectionectomy, right posterior, 6 and 7, right posterior sectionectomy, left median section, segment 4 alone, that is quadrate lobectomy, left lateral, segment 2 and 3, left lateral sectionectomy or bisectionectomy. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, including segment 4 of the left lobe, is called extended right hepatectomy. If you add segment 5 and 8 of the right lobe along with the left lobe, it is called left trisectomy or extended left hepatectomy. Out of all this, the major section is this 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 8. Why? Because the moment you come to the right lobe of the liver, the amount of parenchyma to be divided is much bigger. We are likely to cause ischemic changes in the residual liver, what you're going to keep. So you have to be careful. It has to be done in selective cases. This is the major liver section, whereas this is segment 4, not very thick. This is the next major. Rest of things are routine surgeries. Right hepatectomy, we have shown you 5, 6, 7, and 8. You catch the right hepatic artery, you catch the right portal vein, then the whole thing becomes a color change. Then you need not do anything with the bile duct at that stage. You just put a ligature here, the color change comes. That's called onward flow obstruction. If you still want, you can hook the IVC on the right hepatic vein here by removing the ligament which is covering the IVC ligament, then hook and keep it for an outflow obstruction. If at all you want, in case you injure a vein, you would like to hook it, then it will control. That is all. Whenever this ischemic change comes, your dissection must be about 0.5 centimeter within the area of color change. If you go in that line, you will not cause major hemorrhage. You understand? That is how it is. So this is left hepatectomy. Is again left hepatectomy. You will have to ligate 2 veins, especially segment left hepatic vein and all the branches that are being supplied into this segment 4, not the main vein, because main vein has got certain amount of drainage from segment 5 and 8. You have to leave it and you have to ligate the individual tributaries and remove that segment 4 also. That is called left hepatectomy. Left lateral sectionectomy, one of the easier things to do. You will have to ligate only the left hepatic vein, because the rest of the 4 will be looked after these middle hepatic vein. Other things, there are certain amount of middle hepatic vein branches, tributaries can come inside that you have to do it. Then you can do it off. The best way to catch the segment 2 and 3 component is along the ligamentum teres approach, where you can get all the 3, then go ahead and remove it. Extended right hepatectomy, where segment 4 is also added. These are the portions of the liver that you remove. This is extended left. See, I told you, compared to this is a very less amount of tissue you'll have to cut through. Whereas here, if you see, you've got a thick tissue to cut, and you're likely to injure the right hepatic vein, which is dangerous to the segment 6 and 7. So this is one of the major procedures. You should be very careful. Trisectionectomy, where you have done along with 2, 3, and 4, you can take this trisectionectomy. See, other name of the extended this thing, the shadowing is not correct here. Okay, thank you. I've talked to you about the surgical anatomy of the liver, intrahepatic anatomy to a certain extent. You must know the liver is a wedge-shaped organ occupying the abdomen. Part of it is covered by the rib cage, separated from the thoracic cavity by the diaphragm. It has got diaphragmatic attachment in the form of anterior, superior and inferior coronary ligament, which form the right triangular ligament and the left triangular ligament. There's a lot of adhesions between the retroperitoneum and this is there, which holds the liver in position. Of course, the IVC also. The blood supply is from the right hepatic artery, which is a branch of the celiac artery. After the left hepatic artery, which is the branch of the celiac artery. After the hepatic artery gives the branch of the right gastric artery and the gastroduodenal artery, it becomes the proper hepatic artery, which divides into right and left. The right dips into the substance of the liver in a normal condition and divides into an anteromedial and a posterolateral, supplying 5 and 8 the anteromedial, 6 and 7 the posterolateral. Whereas on the left side, it goes into segment 4 as a recurvating branch supplying segment 4A and 4B, and again go on the left side and supplies segment 3 and 2. This is the arterial supply. The portal venous supply is also the same, which follows the arterial supply. You can just find out, you can calculate how it is. It is as far as the hepatic arteries. I am not talking about the abnormalities. And the venous drainage is by the 3 hepatic veins. Right lobe is drained predominantly by the right hepatic vein. Also from the medial lateral aspect of the middle hepatic vein. Segment 4 has got drainage on segment 4 has got drainage on the middle hepatic vein, also from the left hepatic vein. So you'll have to distinct. Left hepatic vein drains segment 4 and also segment 2 and 3. This is the hepatic venous. Right hepatic vein always separately joins. The left hepatic vein in 60% of the cases can combine with the middle hepatic vein and enters as a common channel. So you have to be very careful. Bile duct, there is no intrahepatic communication except at the confluence where the right and left duct comes. And the pattern is always the same. It starts as a tertiary duct, then it becomes a secondary duct, then a primary duct, then the confluence, then common hepatic duct and common bile duct, once it is joined by the cystic duct from the gallbladder. This is how the anatomy is there. One important thing is the Glissen's capsule, which is forming a covering of the liver, goes as a sheath along all the 3 components of the biliary system. One is bile duct, the other one is hepatic artery, and also the branch of the portal vein. It goes along that. It has been utilized by some other people to radio frequently ablate that straight away and divide the liver wherever they want. This is one important thing you must know. It is a tough fibrous tissue covering all the 3 together. All the 3 together. Then another thing is you must know about the plates, the cystic plate, the hilar plate, and always the umbilical plate. The important surgical aspect is the hilar plate, which is avascular. If you want to bring down and see what is happening superior to the hilar plate, especially if you want to trace some of the bile duct and other things, or to hook out the right or left portal vein, especially right portal vein, you will have to depress or bring down the hepatic plate. That is the surgical anatomy behind it. And I have told you about the many of accessory veins which has to be preserved when you are doing a major liver section, or when you are taking the liver for implanting to another in the form of a transplant. All the small tributaries must be anastomosed to the available vein or an IVC, or 2 or 3 can be joined together and enter into an IVC, so that the venous ischemia of the transplanted liver is solved and the patient will have a better prognosis and a better outcome subsequent to that. Whenever you are doing a major hepatic resection, you are not supposed to knock off the venous drainage, because we are very careful about the hepatic vein and the portal vein and the hepatic artery, whereas you are not very careful about the venous drainage. You must leave the venous drainage of the residual liver, which is going left for the patient. Otherwise, the patient will definitely go in for congestion and go in for a liver failure post-operatively. So this is in a nutshell. I told you, you must know the right hepatectomy, which is 5, 6, 7, 7 and 8. Left hepatectomy, segment 4, 2 and 3. Extended right is including 4. Extended right is including 5 and 8. Then you must know about quadrate lobectomy, which has got 2, 4A and 4B. You must know individual anatomy about it. You must know the anatomy of the caudate lobe, which is a separate topic by itself, and you must know how to remove it. It usually gains blood supply from both. It gets the portal venous supply from the both, drains into both or the confluence, predominantly either left or right. It has always got a tongue-like projection for the caudate process, which has also got individual drainage. The drainage usually goes into the IVC itself. This is in a nutshell about the surgical anatomy of the liver. I'm sorry I got delayed today because of the various restrictions in the hospital, because they are going to start the OP. So I didn't know how to come inside. That has wasted my 15 minutes of time. I got angry with somebody also. That is okay, the bargain. But anyhow, I hope this would have helped you. We'll go inside and see. Open up. How to open? Right? What did you do? Call that fellow. How to minimize that?
I just had to minimize.
This one, huh? Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow, hepatocellular carcinoma, right?
Yes.
ఎవరో ఒకటి చేయండి, ఎవరో ఒకరు. Some of you come online, but
Submit
ఎవరో
Sir,
who is talking? Madhu, huh?
Sheikh sir, Ashik sir.
Take. How was the thing today? Was it helpful?
Yes sir, helpful sir.
I am not seeing your video. I'm only listening to you. Okay. Was it useful?
Useful sir.
Okay. Now tomorrow we'll talk about the hepatocellular carcinoma. Today only 25 boys have joined. Tell all your friends to join. Okay. Thank you.